All right, this is the final walk around. I don't know if I want to go for a ride today, Phil.
Well, you only wash your stuff once a lifetime anyway.
Right, I'm gonna start with the SC1. Basically, for all of your like mud parts under here, you just give everything a coating and leave it. That's all you got to do. And then if you want to do your plastics like this you got to buff out a little. So you hit it for, let it set for 1 minute, and then you just buff it with a cotton, you know, or a microfiber rag, and that's it. You don't hit the headlights, you don't hit any of the glass. But you could hit everything else on here. So we're going around now cleaning the surfaces. I mean, even though this didn't go anywhere, you could see the little splotches. So we're just taking a rag and getting the splotches off before we started. Kind of had a rough start a little bit on this. First thing I noticed was I was missing this front axle protector. I'm like, something looks pretty naked there. All right, we got it all cleaned off, wiped off, which is why I wanted to do it brand new, because we still had to wipe it off, but we're gonna give it a whirl. Should be easy as pie. Let's start here on the tires. Just simply spray it on. So you could do your rubber. You could do anything except for the glass. Any other surface. We'll do the plastic last. I'm just gonna hit all of the metal right now and dirt parts. Phil, you missed a spot cleaning under there.
Cameraman.
Oh, wait, was that
I didn't miss nothing.
Was that my cleaning spot or yours?
Yours.
Smells pretty good, honestly. I don't know if you could smell it, Phil.
You're an old paint huffer.
Okay, I'll check back in a while. My buddy Greg there, who gave me the idea, says do the entire underbody, the skid plate, everything. I always said that if I ever retire, I was gonna have a clean shop and a barn, and it was clean for just a short while. You could clearly see where you missed. You could see what it's dull where you missed.
Where's the GoPro?
Well, we might have to go back and look. I'm going to try to avoid the muffler system because it does say don't expose to 120 degrees or more. All right, first can is done, and I got the whole skid plate. I got all the front suspension, 3 of the 4 tires. And now I'm starting back here on 1 can, so we're surprised how far it goes. All right, so one thing to note here, it was cold out when we were doing this. I think it was around 40-ish outside, but the barn was a little cooler. So it was roughly probably 40 degrees, and here I touched it and it came off. It hadn't set up for several minutes. So you may need to do it when it's warmer. The can didn't say. I mean, I read that whole can. It didn't really say, you know, don't apply it if it's this hot or this cold. But as you'll see the after video here, it did definitely stick, and I think it did work so far. Not sure if I'm going to buff parts like this or not. I mean, I don't mind a little glossy look. All right, it's been about a minute, huh? See how she goes. I think I'll look up the terminology on the can, but I think it makes it more of a matte finish by buffing it. And here again, if it's a little cool out, I mean, what is it, about 45 now?
Mm-hmm. Close to 50.
I mean, it just kind of reminds me of an Armor All, really. I mean, that looks beautiful, if you ask me. Any looks better, what do you think, or a matte?
Let's do half.
Well, it ain't gonna be permanent, but we'll take a quick look at it. I guess I do kind of like the matte, probably a smidge better than the uber shiny. This is not good for a guy's back. Just FYI. Getting close to our first ride. Whew. Man, it'll look sharp on them wheels. I like that. All right, Phil, let's finish knocking this out. You take one side with a can and a rag, and I'll take the other. And I mean, man, I gotta admit, it looks pretty dang good. You could kind of see the wax film, I guess. This one we accidentally did 2 coats, which is no big deal. It's gonna protect it, but you could see it buffing. You know, I'm not gonna sit here all day and buff it, but man, I'll tell you, that looks pretty. I don't know if I want to go for a ride today, Phil. It ain't ever going to look like this again, you know that.
Well, you only wash your stuff once a lifetime anyway.
No, more like once every 2 years. Biannually.
Biannually.
Biannually. Every machine gets washed, whether it likes it or not, once every 2 years. My hands are all slick. I don't know if I could grab the steering wheel. All right, this is the final walk around. We just detailed the windows so that when you guys join us for a ride through the GoPro, you could see better. Man, I gotta admit, it's pretty impressive, except for that one missing part so far. We're about to get some mud on it. Snow, slush, mud, you name it. All right, good deal right there. Let's roll. Okay, so immediately after we put the stuff on and buffed out all the plastics and the bumpers, we took it out for a ride. It was muddy, but we didn't go through any like mud puddles or anything, but the top 3 inches was just slick, mucky clay. So let's do an after look here. You decide, and I'll keep reporting on this as I operate the vehicle. And when I spray it off, that's the next test. I'm curious to see how good the mud and stuff comes off after this application. I can see it beating off.